Hello, friends, and welcome to Uncomplicating Business. It has been a minute because December ate my lunch. And I am so happy to be back with you and with one of my favorite people today. What we are going to talk about today is a little different. We're going to do a little bit of trust, but we're going to also talk about planning because the way we're going to structure the podcast in the new year is going to be a little different. I'm going to tell you all those stories over time. Don't worry, it's still going to be great. So, 15 minutes into her and I talking, we hit record. Please chat. Please welcome my very, very favorite friend who I literally know from the internet and I have no idea why, but I love her. And if we were neighbors, we'd be in jail together. My friend Tracy Beavers, who is a CEO and a founder, and she helps people grow businesses, particularly through organic marketing. She does visibility, she does sales, she does speaking, she does writing. She has a podcast that's fabulous called Create Online Business Success. She runs a group, she runs a mastermind. She does like there's literally nothing she doesn't do. And she does what we do. She has kids and dogs and parents and chaos and she's just fabulous. And you're gonna like her as much as I do. So, friends, as I remind you, every time I have somebody on, she's a human being. She lives on LinkedIn. You can go find her and you can send her a note and say, "Hey, I heard you on Sarah's podcast. I'd love to actually have a conversation with you." And she would not be like, "Oh my gosh, you're the devil." She'd be like, "Cool, let's do that." So please reach out to her. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. You make me laugh so hard. Every time we get together, my face freaking hurts because I smile so much and laugh so much.
But we also we smile and we laugh and we get like wound up about the same crazy things.
I know, right? I know.
So, um,
Uh,
first, let us talk. We're going to do a little bit of trust. So,
yeah.
first, tell people a little bit about what you do
hmm
and particularly the role of trusting yourself in what you do as a business owner.
That's deep. Wow, you
Oh,
just
and we just like
right out
jumped
of the
right
gate.
off the cliff right here. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Let's have big thoughts.
Let's get into your feelings. Let's do that now.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah, trust as myself in as a business owner, right?
Yeah.
That one took some time.
Mm.
And so my backstory, for the listeners who haven't met me yet, its backstory is corporate. Over 20-year award-winning sales career in corporate. I was really climbing the ladder, doing big things, and worked for a company that didn't know how to compensate its sales force, monkeying around with people's commission structures. And I was like, oh, dang, I thought I had control over how much money I could make. Well, no, turns out you can't. So that's when I had to make a pivot and decide, do I want to keep going down this corporate road or do I want to trust myself and
Mhm.
start my own business? And it took some really good friends of mine to say to me, Tracy Beavers, people are always coming to you asking how you are so successful in sales. How are you growing these businesses? How are you gaining market share? What do you mean you can't do this? And I was like, oh, you know
Oh.
how sometimes you can't see
Oh
your
God, yes, I'm always last, famously.
right. You're like, wait a minute, what do you mean, Sarah? You don't think you're good at that? And Sarah's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And, when they pointed it out, I was like, they're right. People have been asking me that for years. People are coming to me with that question. And I didn't even know coaching was a thing. I mean, I'm in
Mm.
Arkansas. We are slow on every single trend. Name a trend, we're the last ones to know about it. The 6-7 thing didn't arrive here till I don't know when, with the middle schoolers.
Yeah,
But
oh
anyway, we're
no.
we're just now using it here in Arkansas, the 6-7. But I was like, coaching, that's a thing. And they're like, yeah. And I was
Mm.
like, okay. But I had to go inside myself and say, what do you really want to do? Because if I really wanted to leave corporate, I had no choice but to trust myself.
Mm.
And so sometimes I think trusting yourself comes with you don't have any other choices,
Yep.
right?
Well, but I think that that's one kind of trust.
Uh-huh.
Like that is the large scale meta, I can do this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know this is going to work. And
Yeah.
then there is the day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
minutia trust
Mm-hmm.
that I think people come into business and think like I can do this.
Right.
And well, so either they're really good at like the minutia trust, like I'm going to do this thing and I know how to do this. I'll figure it out, whatever, this little thing.
Right.
Or they're really good at the big scale meta trust
Yeah, yeah.
and they fight the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you find because you had that big one, you fought the little things?
Oh,
Or
for
was
sure.
like, tell me
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh. The learning curve on the tech
Mm,
almost made me want to give up because tech's
mm,
not my jam. I'm a wordy girl. You give me a microphone and a stage, I am happy.
happy. Same.
Happy talking to people, all the stuff. And I had a Kajabi. For goodness sake, what is that? Why is it named that? Landing page, funnel, register.
Mm,
I mean, like, ugh. I was like, I don't know about this. That was a big trust gap for me because once again, I had to say, okay, Tracy, are you going to trust that you can figure this out? And what I had to do was take it kind of like what you're saying, the small trust. I had to take those trust steps step by step.
mm.
I couldn't make the leap to, I'm going to be the next tech giant. You know what I mean? I couldn't do the big sweeping,
Yeah.
I'm going to trust myself with the tech. I had to trust myself that I was a smart enough girl that I could figure it out.
Mm.
Trust myself that I knew the resources I could go to find.
Yep.
Like back in the day when we were in college, it was go find the textbook that's going to, or the encyclopedia that's going to help you learn the thing you want to learn.
Yep.
Now it's like, I'm going to trust myself that I can go to YouTube and I can find enough videos to teach me how to use Canva. I
Yes.
can find enough videos to teach me how to use Trello, or I can go hire an expert that can teach me how to do it and
Yep.
help me baby step this. So that's a great example of a baby step thing. And then I think also the minutia, the small trust things are, is my offer going to sell?
Mm.
I
Mhm.
know that I have the skills to teach people how to do this. Is my marketing messaging what it needs to be? So there are a lot of small business decisions that take those small trust steps in order to get to grow the business.
Well, and they're all different flavors, right? Like the is my message correct is a
Hmm.
different kind of confidence than I'm going to figure out the tech side. Is a different
Yeah.
kind of confidence than I know I can teach people this.
Yeah, yeah.
Is a different kind of confidence than I know I can hire somebody to help me with that.
Hmm.
Right? Like they all require sort of a slightly different flavor. It's like the Baskin Robbins of trust. A slightly
All
different
50
flavor,
flavors.
right? Like 562 flavors. And we almost have to practice them each separately, which is
Mm.
so interesting, right? Like
Hmm.
it's like
Yeah.
I trust myself here and now I have to trust myself here. Oh, like, well,
Hmm.
there too. Like
Yeah. 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 And I think, it's also labeled imposter syndrome.
Mm,
I'm not a fan of those words, but I
well,
do, it kind of plays into this because one of the things I heard was early on was imposter syndrome never really goes away. And I think what you and I are talking about here is the small trust things never really go away because I still have times when I'm like, okay, I'm going to go make this podcast episode. Okay, is this going to resonate with my audience? Or
yeah,
here we go into launch again because we're headed in at the time of this recording, we're headed back into the launch of my program next week.
yeah.
And there's that trust factor of, do you have everything right this time, Tracy? Where it
Or
resonates with the audience.
is the trust that you know your audience well enough that even if it's not perfect, you trust that the offer is the best thing that you can give them,
Yeah.
right? It's interesting. I often find that I try not to think about like, did I get it right? Or is it the version that I think is it the best version I can put out right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, like depends on who I run into on a Tuesday. And then we could fall down that rabbit hole. I could be sliding through that rabbit hole until 2029. Like
Right.
that's a big ass rabbit hole. So it's interesting. So it's interesting you talk about launch mode. Talk to me about trusting your offers.
Mm-hmm. There's been a learning curve with that too. Um, What I will say to that, what I've learned is when I help a client or a student work through an offer, I want them to do the market research first. Because if our offer is based on what we think or feel our audience wants, we run the risk of doing what I did in the beginning, which was creating a course that I thought was going to be $1 million seller, and it wasn't based on actual market research. I didn't really talk to the audience very much. I just made a lot of assumptions.
Well, yeah, I think the idea of market research, quote unquote, scares people, but it's
Yes,
really like go talk to people and see the patterns.
correct. Yeah,
Like find the patterns and the problems.
right,
And
right.
so often people do see those patterns and then think up a thing and think like, now I have to go do research. And you're like, no, 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 no. You did all the talking and you see the patterns.
Uh-huh.
Like you're making that decision based on the patterns you're seeing.
Right,
So I
right.
think it is like, but then there are people that are like, no, 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 I'm going to invent this widget. And you're like, No widget.
I
Widget.
mean, okay, but your widget might not sell because if it's the weirdest widget nobody's ever seen or wanted.
Right. And if it solves a problem that isn't actually a problem,
Hmm.
then that's tricky.
Yeah.
Do you, what is something that you're working on in trust right now?
Oh, good question. What comes to mind is because we're at the time of this recording, it's like January 8th.
Yeah.
We're just dipping our toes into 2026. We're just now finding our brains and
We're like,
formulating the name.
do we really want to do 2026? I
Right.
don't know. 2025. Ugh.
I know. Um, 2025 for me, um, don't come at me with the pitchforks, but 2025 for me was actually my best revenue year ever.
Yep. There's plenty of those. I know a lot of them.
And so going into 2026, there's that voice in the back of my head that's going, are you going to do it again?
Mm.
Are you going to meet or exceed 2025? Can you repeat this or was it a fluke? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
yeah.
were you a one-hit wonder and you peaked in 2025 and it's all downhill from here and before you know it, you're going to be singing in casinos instead of on stage at MGM Grant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Madison Square Garden. I
Right.
felt like
Well,
I was singing at Madison Square Garden in 2025 and now am I going to Saracen Casino in Pine Bluff, Arkansas? I don't know.
and I think so many people think even like from client to client was the last one a fluke,
Correct. Yes.
right? Like was that one a fluke?
Yeah.
And
Can I do it
so
again?
well, so how are you answering that question for yourself right now? Like what are you
I
telling yourself?
I am telling myself to shut the F up because it's that icky voice. It's kind of, what are are you going to be able to do it again? What, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that because that's what she sounds like.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Um, so I am telling her to shut it because if I did it once, I can do it again.
Well,
There's no,
and
there's no proof that I can't.
the evidence is on your side.
Correct. I have proof of concept. I
Hmm.
have the things in place, the cogwheels, if you will, of the machine
Hmm.
of my business that churned out these results.
Hmm.
And so if I at minimum, if I keep doing what I did to fuel that and get those cogwheels going, then in my mind, I should meet what I did. And if I throw a little more fuel on it, put a little more gas down on the pedal, I should be able to exceed it.
Well, and the other thing I think about all the time is you might be able to exceed it without more gas because you're getting better at it every time.
That's very true
You're
too. That's a
becoming
true
more and
statement.
more efficient.
That's a true
And
statement.
that is the maturing of offers and the maturing of business. Like
Mhm.
that's how it grows over time because we're not new at everything every time.
Right,
Like
right,
I don't have to be new again. It's not exactly the same.
right.
And the other thing that I think that goes with that is, you know, you can use just 2025 data, but like how long have you been in business now?
Oh, stars. Let me think. So, I started building businesses, I think it was 7 years ago, but it was
Mm,
alongside my corporate job. The business coaching came along about a year-ish after that. So maybe six, five
Yeah.
and a half, 6 years.
Well, and so you're already past the average, right?
Correct. Yeah, I am.
You've been successful for twice as long as the average business.
Mm-hmm.
Data is on your side
Mm-hmm.
in lots of different ways. But I
Right.
think you're like, well, but 2025 was this banner year and now I have to do it again. Like, well, that's one way to think about it.
Right.
Like
Right.
maybe the meanest way, but those voices are there, mine are there. It's like, well, if you would work a little harder and you're like, oh God,
Oh
you're
God.
mean.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
she's brutal.
Right. Well,
So,
and then the shoulds come alongside that. You
yep.
should be doing this. You should be, well, look at what she's doing. She's your competitor and she's doing this, and you should blah blah blah. Woo! No.
See, I try not to. What's funny is people will say to me, like, oh, did you see, have you read this thing that, no.
Yeah. I don't want
I'm
to
such a
know.
turtle. I don't want to know.
Don't want to
But
know.
like, I'm just gonna do what I do, what I do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
it can't be any different. Like I can go read all the things, but then I'm just gonna feel crappy about it. Like I am very conscious of the amount of business stuff I let
Hmm.
in. I
Hmm.
let in
Very smart.
people, but
Yeah.
I don't let in too much stuff because otherwise
Hmm.
I'm like, well, now I have these 62 ideas that actually aren't even things I want to
Right.
do. Ugh,
Yeah.
yuck. That's
And
so.
the other thing I'll say before we move on is in the event that my income and growth is not replicated this year,
Mm,
there's only so much control I have over that. If I am trusting myself that I know what to do and how to do it,
hmm.
I can't control the outcome.
Right.
So there's that trust piece too. It's like, if I want to just stress myself out over the outcome, okay, fine, but you're just going to be a ball of anxiety and stress over something you can't control. So I
Well,
have to
and
trust myself to do the things that I know how to do and trust that the outcome will happen.
I think with that, trust yourself that if you get to April and think like, something's funny,
Yeah.
that and are capable of thinking like, okay, well, this is the piece I'm going to change.
Yeah,
I'm
because
going
I
to
did that in
swap this for
October.
that. Yes, I
I did that in
know. I
October
saw it
last
in
year.
real
Yeah.
time. And to go like, oh, I need to make a shift here, to trust
Mhm.
yourself in advance to know that that's going to happen because it's inevitable
Yeah.
and you're going to be able to handle it when you get there is a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's scary and unknown and also like completely impossible to avoid. So good luck.
Right, 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 right. Exactly.
So that leads me to planning.
Yeah.
Because here at the start of the year, I think this is where everybody's brain is like, let me make my plan for world
Mhm.
domination.
Yeah.
If
And
that's if you're so
some people were doing it in Q4. They're like, well, if you're not planning for 2026, you're behind. And I'm like,
what's really funny is I tend to run the planning event that I do every year in December just because
yeah,
people get all excited in December and it's fun. I
yeah,
couldn't this year.
right.
It's in January, but it's also like I fully admit every December to people that I don't mostly do mine until February.
Right,
Like I
right. Yeah.
really just don't. Like I've done most of mine at this point because I
Mhm.
sat down all day Monday and I just needed to like figure out how to use my brain again.
Yeah.
But I don't I don't do it in December. Dear God.
No, I
Like
don't either.
I try to start people thinking,
Yes,
but
correct.
good Lord. So talk to me about when you think about like how do you think about planning? Do you think about it in years? Do you think about it in smaller bites or bigger bites? Like
Hmm.
what is your process like?
Hmm. I used to think about it in bigger bites. As you know, one of my pet peeves is, what's your 3 to 5 year plan?
God, just makes me want to like claw my eyes out.
I
Like
know. I'm
just
like,
oh
I,
God, and you're like, guys, I didn't know 2025 was gonna end up in a pile of crazy. So like my
exactly.
3-year plan, good heavens, y'all. I want to
Exactly.
still be here. Yay.
Correct. Right. I want to be upright and breathing. That's it.
Yep.
But I mean, years ago, when you and I were younger, out of college, starting careers, da 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 da, we could make a 3 to 5 year plan,
Hmm.
but we can I don't think that's possible right now. Now, I mean, if you want to say, okay, in 3 years, I want to I want to be fully retired or I want to own my own home I think it depends on the goal. But for planning for my business, 3 to 5 years is too far down the road because this online space shifts like crazy pants. And just look at the difference between 2020,
Oh, please.
2023 into 2024 and now 2025. If you had put together in 2023 or no, 2024, a 3 to 5 year plan, it would have been out the door in 6 months.
Well, and I think there's a difference between a plan and a vision.
Correct. Correct.
And
Yes,
so I
I
think the
agree.
like be retiring, be paid off, be those are
Mhm.
goals, but they're more like quality of life vision sorts of things.
Yeah, yeah.
The plan, I think, is different than that, which is what you're
Mhm.
really talking about, is like
Yeah,
the details of the process.
right.
And that is like I can't it's the same as like as a teacher, I used to like you lesson plan and
Mhm.
you program, right? So in September, you sit down and you're like, by December, we should be here.
Right.
Are we ever there? No. Do I know what should be happening every day to get me there? Of course. Were there 6 fire drills, 4 snow days, and everybody got the flu? Uh-huh. Right?
Uh-huh.
And maybe a couple assemblies thrown in for good measure?
Yeah,
Absolutely. So no, you're not going to get there. Like that's
right.
not how it works, even in the cases where you have the control over it. And that's please, even in the best case.
Right.
So because you're not thinking of it that way, how are you thinking of it?
I'm short term.
Mm,
Shorter term.
how short?
So I do like 3 to 6 months in advance or 3 to 6 months down the road with the caveat of be ready to pivot if needed.
Mm,
So I
okay.
know what I want to do. And also, it took me a couple of years. Like, I was following people that were like, well, you've got to plan out your whole next year. And I was like, how am I going to do that when I don't even know my offers yet? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
it took me several years to be able to plan out a whole year.
Yeah.
So I do know the intention for 2026 is to launch my group coaching program 3 times.
Yep.
So I have that planned out. I actually have the dates set.
Yep.
I do know that in between I'm going to have one-to-one clients and that I take about a handful at a time because otherwise they don't get the best of
Chaos.
me. You know, I want to be able to give the best
Yep.
of me, and if I'm stretched too thin, they won't. And then I know in between those launches, there's going to be things I'm doing to build trust with my audience that I'm doing for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that or I don't know for sure. I'm thinking I will rerun some of the live workshops I did last year that were paid, low cost,
Mm-hmm.
maybe throw in a new one.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as I've gotten for the year.
Yep.
And so when I'm looking down the road, like I will plan for myself personally, I plan a week in advance. And I've done this
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way I stayed on track as a mom with 2 little kids. It's the only way I stayed on track then as a
Yes.
single
I
mom
I
after the
too am a one
divorce.
week view girl.
Yeah. So personally, I'm mapping out the whole next week and I'm looking at what do I have for the business? What do we have personally? Da, da, da,
Yep.
da, da, da. And then after that, it's okay, I know I want to launch my program again in mid-April, but I got to be ready to pivot like we talked about.
Yeah.
Because if what I'm offering suddenly is not what my audience wants or needs, I can't be so set in that plan that I don't see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, um you can't be attached to it in a way that doesn't serve you and them. Right?
Right.
There's this level of attachment to I created this thing and therefore it is.
Hmm.
And it's not anything, right? That's not how anything works. It's like I created humans that live in my house and they do whatever they want. Like they're their own people, damn it, instead of listening all the time like they should. And nope. So I think it's a little of the same. Like once you create the offer, it has a life of its own, and you have to sort of listen to it and the people around it to
Yes.
allow it to grow
Correct.
and be effective and
Mhm.
mush around and do what it's supposed to do. And I think what's interesting about the way you're talking about it is you have put sort of you've got the landmarks,
Yes.
right? You've got the landmarks. And I think the landmarks come with more maturity in business
Correct.
because, like, for example, I tend to do small groups twice a year. I tend to do
Hmm.
like early winter, like February, and then October because I learned over a couple of years that June is a bad time for
Correct.
my people. Like, we just don't, May, June, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe someday it will be. It's not. For people who have teacher brains, they're like, I'm sorry, I left. We cashed out. We were like, bye.
I'm going to the beach.
Yeah, like they can talk to me in August, but they surely
Right.
don't want to know my name in May. They're like, see ya. I don't know what happened to my brain. Even if I'm not a teacher anymore, May
Right.
teacher brains are like, what? It's cooked. And
Right.
so, like that, but that pattern took a while. So I have landmarks
Yes.
and I have focal points, which is
Hmm.
what it sounds like you have. You have like, okay, here are the things I want to mix in. Here
Yes.
are the landmarks I want to hit. And after that, we're just going to kind of take it 1 week at a time.
Yes. I did that last summer. We did the launch of BVME April, May, went just as every other April and May launch has gone, went perfectly, wonderfully fine. Um, and then I got to June and I was like, okay, I've pretty much got June, July, August until mid-September before we start this engine back up again. What do I want to do with myself?
Mm.
And I kind of flew by the seat of my pants. I'm like, what if you did a what if you did a low cost workshop? Let's see how that goes. And so I
Yeah.
literally built it in real time with my audience. I was I announced it to my Facebook group. I'm like, your girl's gonna do something crazy. Here's what we're gonna do. I
Yeah.
only have the idea. I don't even have the topic. Do I have a landing page? No. Do I have a checkout? Not yet. Do I have the workbook? Not on your life. Do I know exactly what I'm going to teach you? Kind of, sort of, but not really. And
Yes.
within like 3 weeks, I had it all put together.
Yeah.
So we have to leave room for stuff like that.
Well, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like you have
And
to
then
leave room for the
you can
magical
try it.
fun. Yeah.
Correct. And then I get to the end of it and I go, okay, was that as much fun as I thought it was? Well, it was. So I did another one. I did another one in August.
I tend to run games like that where I'm like, okay, I had this idea and
Hmm.
we're gonna play a game. And then my people will be like, all right, we're in, we'll play
Right.
because they
Right.
know like it's gonna be useful and it's gonna
Uh-huh.
be some dorky like goofball game way to play it. And
Yeah.
so like but I think you have to have room to do that.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it's the difference between like planning and over planning maybe.
Correct. Or just being so rigid
Mm.
that you're like, well, that wasn't on my plan.
Well,
Well,
okay, so then talk to me about the difference between rigidity and consistency,
ooh.
right? Because that's a tricky spot, right?
Mhm.
People take, and I think the other word in there that fits is regularity. People take
Mhm.
rigidity and regularity to be consistency and then
Mhm.
tell themselves they're inconsistent when really they're just not rigid, right?
Correct.
Like, what is consistency to you?
Consistency to me is showing up week after week for my audience with my podcast episode, my social media content, my email to them, and making sure that it's out there in some form.
Mm,
Um, but I mean, I was super rigid when I was younger.
same.
And I think I don't know, maybe it's my age, but I'm like, but I don't consider myself being consistent with rigidity because rigidity to me means that it's my way or the highway, and this is the way we're going to do it, and there's no room for a pivot, and there's no room for new ideas, and, you know, we're going to do the same thing all the time.
Mm,
That's rigidity to me. And
mm,
my consistency comes from, was that fun? If it's not fun, let's figure out a way to stay consistent but make it fun.
mm.
So consistency to me leaves more room for evolution and being open-minded and being willing to try new things, but doing the things that will drive your business forward every day.
Well, it's like
That makes
the
sense?
consistency of Like your commitment is to showing up,
Yes.
not to the car you drive to get there,
Right. That's a good analogy. Yeah.
right? Like it's like I
I could
don't
take the
need to,
bus. I could walk.
yes.
I could ride my bike. I could carpool with Sarah. We wouldn't get to where we were going to
I
go,
was
but it's
gonna say
fine.
we would be somewhere else by the time we were
We would end
done.
up
We'd be
we
in
would end up on a
Canada.
cruise ship like we
Oh
talked about
gosh, in the middle of the ocean,
in the middle of the
just
ocean.
talking to no one but ourselves. It'd be amazing. But right, like I think that what happens when people plan
Hmm.
is then they take their plans very literally,
Yes, correct. That's where the rigidity comes in.
right? And it's much planning as a middle school teacher always reminded me of like, um, I don't know, I'm gonna mangle this, but there is a saying somewhere about like a plan is perfect until first contact with the enemy or something.
And the enemy being the middle schoolers.
Right, like,
It's
right. Plans
hysterical.
are perfect until first contact, and at which
Yeah.
point the plan is like a tiny shred of
Survival.
paper on fire,
Right,
right?
right, right. Yeah.
And so I have always felt like plans are great until first contact.
Yeah.
And then, well, we'll see.
Right.
Because you learn very quickly with a room full of eighth graders that first contact might be real painful.
Yeah.
I, but I think what happens is people get very tied to like on Tuesday, I'm supposed to do this.
Correct.
And that's not how life works. Holy,
No. You and
you
I
and I
both know
both know
that.
this.
Woo!
Jinx.
You were thinking the same thing, weren't you?
hmm
Uh-huh.
But like, so how do you
Hmm.
allow yourself to keep room for consistency and like fun and still do it when you don't want to do it?
Good question. There are times when my husband says, sometimes you just have to hold your nose and do it anyway.
Mm,
I have times like that.
same.
Um, and yeah, because I am a serious CEO, if we are serious CEOs, if we are serious about building our business, there's going to be things in this business I don't like
Yep.
and I don't want to do.
Yep.
I don't want to reconcile my numbers at the end of every month. Who wants to do that? Who wants to go track their KPIs at the end of every month? Not
Mm,
this girl.
mm,
I'd rather spend that time talking to people.
yeah.
Um, I don't necessarily love creating a workbook for the live workshop that I just sold. So there are times when I have to say, okay, Tracy Beavers, are you gonna are you gonna do this and put your big girl pants on and you hold your nose? Or are you going to not do it and run the risk of creating a hole in your business that didn't necessarily have to be there?
Well, and it is that, but I think what you're saying is my commitment is to be serious about my success.
Correct.
Serious enough that I'm not willing to bail on myself,
Correct.
right? One of the things that I say to people all the time, they'll be like, "Well, why do you do that?" Well, it's because I refuse to be the barrier to my own success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm
Yes.
going to have a lot of problems, but one of them is not going to be me.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, I am not going to be the problem. I'm not going to be the reason it didn't work. I
Right.
refuse.
Right.
Like, I'm going to have lots of plenty of reasons. And one of them won't be me. And
Mm-hmm.
so what you're saying is like you also, because you take it serious, and serious means different things to different people.
Yeah.
But because you've decided you've made this commitment, you are going to hold up your side,
I am.
even when there are things that you're like, anything but that. And everybody's got stuff like that. I've got
For
stuff,
sure.
and people are like, well, we delegate those things. Like, girl, you can't delegate them all.
I mean, you can, but then how much are you paying people to? I mean, yeah,
Well, and
yeah,
then you have to manage that. So,
right.
like,
That's true. You still have to know what's going on.
correct. So, here's the other question that I think is relevant to all of this because planning is great.
Hmm.
One of the things that I know lots of people, and I know you know lots of people get stuck in is they like to plan, Planning is lovely. We use our pretty markers and our nice paper and our
Sticky notes.
sticky notes and
Mhm.
colors.
Love sticky notes.
And then we plan some more.
Yes.
So, what does it look like for you to go from planning to doing?
Yes, that is something I help my clients and students with because we can learn ourselves into
Yep,
inertia,
correct.
quit learning, start doing, quit
Hmm.
planning, start doing. I mean, there's only, and truly, there's only so much planning a person can do, right?
Yes. Oh God, I know.
Until
Same.
you run.
Until you're like, I'm just planning again to plan again because I'm scared.
Right, right. I'm going to go back and erase that plan and replan it. No, no.
Well, I took one step and then it didn't go to plan, so I need a new plan. Like,
Right.
no, you
No.
don't need a new plan. You just need to keep going.
Hmm.
Okay, so how
Yeah.
do you stop that for yourself?
Oh, it's just it comes back to not being the bottleneck, not being the
Mm.
problem.
Hmm.
Having a goal, having a vision and a goal and a destination I want to get to as a business owner.
Mm.
And if I stay in planning mode, I'm not going to get there. Plans don't pay the bills. Action,
There's the podcast episode title. Plans don't pay the bills. Girl,
mic drop, we're done. Thank you all for
right?
listening.
You're
It's been great.
that was fun, and there we are. I knew there would be one. Uh,
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they don't. Blueprints on an architect's desk
you
don't
can't
build the
live in.
building.
Yeah, you
They
can't live
they don't
inside them.
they don't build the building.
Mm,
You can't order a McDonald's hamburger from a drive-through that's not present with people in it.
fair. Well, I
So,
always tell people you can't deposit money in a bank account you don't have.
correct. So you can have the most beautiful planner in the world, knock yourself out. But while you're doing that, I'm going to be out talking to people and selling stuff.
Yep. Well, and you
Yeah.
have to talk to people.
Yes, you have to talk to the people.
I know it
You have to
sucks.
talk to them a lot. And I mean, I'm an extrovert. I get it. I can talk to a brick wall. And all the listeners are going, "We need to realize that now, Tracy." But so I think I'm fortunate in that respect. But I do help my introverted clients and students overcome that and
Well,
realize,
and I am an introvert. I'm like a hard introvert.
really,
Oh, yes. Yep. Yes. And for a minute I was like, maybe I'm an in-between vert. Like, what do you call that? An ambivert? And my husband was
ambivert.
like, nope. Like, I'm not good at parties. I'm great on the internet where I don't have to put on shoes. But like, if you said to me, Sarah, come to this thing and let's do it for 3 days straight, 2 days in, I gotta go sit under my desk for a while. Like, I can't.
Gotta go be alone.
I do. It is bad. Like, I am not, I play extroverted on TV
Yeah.
because I know how to manage my energy,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? And I've
Yeah.
gotten really good at doing the things I know how to do and being comfortable with them, but I'm
Mhm.
not by any stretch of the nope. I'm about as extroverted. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Not. And
Yeah.
so you can still do it,
Yeah, you can. You just have to find a way that feels authentic to you. And that may be a situation for an introvert to hold their nose and do it anyway. Send the
especially at the
DM.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the coffee chat, send the DM, go to the networking thing, use your elevator pitch, go live on social media. All it's like exposure therapy at its finest.
And I promise, as an introvert, it does get better because I've done exposure therapy to all those things.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore, where you're like, nope, I'm just going to do this 30 times. And every time I'm
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, shit,
Right.
damn it. Like
I
somehow I'm
love this. I
running.
love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I
Right.
love
Well, where
people. I love
you're
people.
sitting in the car and you're like, oh, all right, I guess I got to get out of the car.
Oh, I
Okay.
gotta get out of the
And then
car
I
and go
love it when
home.
I'm there and I get back in the car. I'm like, oh, thank God it's done. It's bad. Like, I'm bad.
So
So,
funny.
what do you think the hardest part of planning is for you?
Mhm. Oh gosh, that's a good question. I'm wondering if there is anything that's hard for me about planning.
Hmm.
Because I'm a pretty good planner. I've
Yeah.
always been organized. I like to have, my husband will tell you, Tracy likes to have a plan. Um, Now I've gotten a lot better about it. It used to be like I wanted to know where we were going, who was going to be there, what I needed to wear, what was on the menu. Like I wanted to know the whole thing. Now I'm just like, okay, what time are we leaving? And what's the dress code? And I don't really need to know where we're going. I just need to know what to wear and what time to get in the car.
Yeah.
So
Well, but you know what? That circles back to trust.
he'll plan it. We're going to Scotland in April, and he's like, "Do you want to see the itinerary I put together?" Nope. I'm going to pack my bag. I'm going to get on the plane.
That's how we did Hawaii. And I was
I
like,
need.
I don't care.
I want to know what the weather is, so I know what to pack, and I want to know what time to be at the airport,
Yes.
and then I'll figure it
Bliss.
out.
It's bliss. It's
Yeah.
bliss. Marital bliss
So,
and bliss right there.
but wondering if there's anything hard for me about planning. I get maybe the worry part
Mm.
of is what I'm going to do, is it going to work?
Hmm.
Am I forgetting something? Like when I was flying
Yeah.
by the seat of my pants putting together that workshop, oh, I had a checklist. That was one of the first things I did was like, oh,
Yeah.
you got Tracy Beavers. What are you doing? You got to have a checklist.
Yeah.
Like into the Google Doc. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and I need one of these, and I need one of those, and I need this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And don't forget to do that because it's soothing to my brain.
Well, and then you can sort of follow it. I
Correct.
think those lists are both soothing, but they also take out some of the eventual decision fatigue and the redoing.
Correct.
So it's like a problem solving in advance.
hmm And what it became was an SOP for the next time I did the workshop.
Yep.
Let me go look at my checklist.
And in the next time you did a workshop, you might have been like, okay, that thing on the checklist I did far too late.
Right.
This thing didn't belong here at all. I
Right.
forgot that thing. Because
Yeah,
you go
for
back to
sure.
the list. I actually just went back. I do like a yearly tracking document for the things I'm tracking that I like leave literally on my desk because I don't remember it exists unless I can write it on paper.
hmm
And I just printed mine out this morning and I went in last year's template and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't want to track that anymore. Like, I'm not really thinking about that.
Right, right, right,
I've shifted instead of that, I'm tracking this. I'm like, well, I don't know. I kind of pretended to track that last year, but I didn't. So I'm not going to track it this year because it doesn't really matter.
right.
And like, as you've shifted, then, but like, moving those boxes around, I think is interesting because then you're like, oh, well, I had a plan and that checklist helped and the tracking sheet helps. And then I adjusted. I changed
hmm
gears. But I like that I now have this pile of tracking sheets over there. They're right on my desk right now from like years and years of me kind of tracking similar things, which is interesting to just have in your hand because
Yeah.
I'm a weird data person like that. Um, what do you love about business right now?
The same thing that I've loved about it from the beginning, which is making people's lives better
Mm,
and supporting them in a dream they have. Um, making sure, not making sure, because I can't ensure it. I can't make them think anything, but doing my best to be certain that I have reminded them of the gifts and the talents that they have
mm.
and that there are people out there that need them. And therefore we have a duty to use our gifts and talents in the furtherance of humanity and the betterment of other people. And so that's what I keep coming back to is on the days when it gets hard and I'm like, oh, I think I might just shut it down and go get a job.
Mm.
Um, I have to go, nope, it's not what you were put here for. You were put here to help people and to make sure they know how great they are, to help them make money for their families. Yeah, that's
And
the part that
do
keeps
the
me going.
amazing things they're meant to do out in the world,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's, I think, the most fun part. It's somebody when we were away on vacation said to me, well, what do you do? And I said, I coach small business owners. Like I get to help really cool people do really cool things really well,
Yeah.
right? Like what's better than that? Nothing.
Not
And
right.
in service to the people they're trying to serve,
Yeah.
to make the world better for the people they're aiming to help. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like no bad. So
Right.
I totally feel that.
Yeah. And the ripple effect of that.
Mm,
I mean, there's in every job, I don't care what job you're doing, there is a ripple effect of your work.
Hmm.
And on the hard days, I like to think about that. Okay, I helped Carrie save her business and turn it around, which in turn rippled into her employees still having a job, which rippled into her employees still having their houses or being
Yep.
able to pay their rent or
And
being
their
able to.
kids going to dance and everything else.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. And
Yep.
their kids having a stable home life where mom and dad aren't freaked out and stressed out. And, those kids go to school and they're happy and they make their friends happy.
Yeah.
I mean, just whoever's listening to this, if you're ever just having a really crap day, I want you to really think about the trickle down ripple effect of what you do.
And the good.
Yes.
And follow it all the steps. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
It
Okay.
does.
So here's the last question. Um, you get to give people a little tiny bit of homework. So
Oh.
if you can say to people like, here's one thing that I think would be really helpful for you to do today. And it can
Hmm.
be about planning, or it can be about trust, it can be about whatever the hell you want. I am often like, okay, go answer this question or go try this thing.
Hmm.
What would you have people try today or think about?
Gosh, there's a couple of things. What comes to mind is, especially for 2026, is the word community and
Mm,
connection and relationships, which isn't new
nope.
because it's what made me successful in my sales career a million years ago in corporate, building relationships with people, not trying to sell anybody anything,
No,
just
like being a
meeting.
human.
Yeah, correct. Just meeting other people and making that connection. And if what they need, what I got, well, then I'm going to share it with them. But so what I would encourage people to do is if now this may sound like I was going to say 5 a day, and that's probably too much. This coming week, set 2 coffee chats
Mm,
with people
yep.
you have not met before, but that you have something in common with. I bet you there's a community you're in where maybe you haven't plugged in as much as you should.
Hmm.
Attend the virtual networking session and then set 2 coffee chats with 2 people that were in that room.
Well, and if you're not sure how to do it, I do this on LinkedIn all the time. I write people a note and say, hey, I love what you're up to. I think you're doing really interesting things. I would just love to know you as a human. Are you game for that? Like
Yeah,
literally those are the words.
totally.
Where you like see somebody go by and you're like, huh. Like there's this lady who went by in mine recently who teaches teachers how to lead yoga in their classrooms in little
Cool.
tiny breaks. I know. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, I was like, hi, I would like to be your friend. Um, like what you're
Yeah,
doing is really interesting. And so I like goofy, and she was like, oh, that we could do that. And I was like, excellent. I would like to know all the things.
that's so
But
fun.
like,
Yeah,
you go
totally.
find the people that you're like, ooh, what's she
Uh-huh.
doing? And send a note.
Yeah,
That's best homework ever. Like, and if that is your habit in 2026, it will pay you back 100,000 times
it will.
in joy and connection and business and ways you
Yes,
never imagined.
exactly. Because that next connection you make, you never know where it's going to lead. And it's so exciting.
It is. And you never know. One of the things I'm tracking this year officially, which I've done for a long time, but I'm officially tracking this year, I decided is connections I make for other people.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Yes.
fun. I
Right. And it's
love that.
so fun. And I was like, you know what? That's so fun. I'm actually going to track it and I'm going to set a goal to it.
Yeah.
Like that's super fun. So I think that like that kind of thing is magic because then you get to do those kinds of things when you meet all the cool people, you get to put them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy Beavers, tell people all the ways to find you.
So you mentioned my podcast, which I really am loving. It's gosh, is it over a year old now, I think. It's called Create Online Business Success. I would love for everybody to listen and follow along. And then come join my free Facebook group. We have over 4,000 online entrepreneurs. We do allow promotion on certain days of the week, but most of all, we want people to come in and connect and
Mm.
set coffee chats. Ask for feedback, ask for help. If you're stuck in Kajabi, like I always am, you can post in my group and say, I'm about to throw my computer through a wall. Who can help me? And I guarantee you, one of the
Someone
members is
will.
going to step up and help you. It's called Be
Mhm.
a Confident Entrepreneur. Get visible, grow your email list and your income. So just come join us and
Yep.
make some connections and come join the party because it's a great place to be.
Well, and friends, like remember, one of those coffee chats you could correct cur- what word am I trying to use?
Curate?
One of those coffee chats you could create could be with Tracy,
Yeah.
right? Where you could be like, oh,
Yes.
she's kind of awesome. You
I like
sure
her.
she won't mail you? This is like the cheater's way to win. Right
Right,
here.
right,
There's one right there you don't
right.
know. And if you don't know me, you can ask me too. Look, it's two.
It's two.
Um,
We are the
ah,
low-hanging fruit. We are
amazing.
it.
We are it.
We are
Well,
the fruit.
that's true. We are it. Tracy Beavers, you are one of my very favorite people. I am
Oh, I feel the same
delighted to
way.
get to talk to you. And
Too.
I am excited to get to share this with everybody.
Thanks.
Friends, you can find me all of the places. LinkedIn, you can come join my Facebook community, but it is only there for a little while longer. It's called Uncomplicating Business because we are transitioning into the uncomplicated, whoa, words, Uncomplicating Business Lab. Starting in February, starting right at the start of February, everything's moving into the lab. All of the fun, all of the good, all of the best stuff. So come do the lab with us. Yes, it's paid. Yes, it's worth it. Trust me, we're going to do all the best things in there. And really that's the focus for this year. We're going to plan, we're going to connect, we're going to ground ourselves, we're going to sell like hell, and we're going to enjoy all of it. And friends like Tracy are going to come play with us in there. So come join, ask questions if you have them, and I will talk to you all again in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for playing.